Hello, you awesome friends. This is your pal Edwards here speaking. Welcome back to my show, An Interview with Edward. I tell you what, our show has just gone crazy globally because we're speaking to absolute winners from a diverse range of industries and professions across the world. Now, we've actually got on the interview with us today one of Australia's top compliance experts when it comes to construction and digital applications. This man I've known for a long time. He's a wonderful friend of mine, and he gets into compliance, investigation, certifications, and more. And he is an amazing man and leader in the industry. Zain Jafar, how are you doing today?
Good, Edward. Good. Thanks for having me.
I got to say, we're absolutely honoured to have you with us on the show. Can you tell us and the audience a little bit more about what you do and how you help companies around Australia?
Yes, of course. So construction contractors all over Australia come to Idara Systems, the company that we founded and own, to manage all of their compliance requirements from safety to QA to certifications, investigations, injuries, you name it, we do it. And at the same time, we combine that with digital applications to manage compliance on site, whether it's GPS timesheets or digital forms or training, plant and equipment. We're a one-stop shop where we get all done for you and we get it done expertly.
And I understand, and of course, we know each other well off camera. I understand that the whole point of what you do is you're that one-stop shop and you save your clients a ridiculous amount of time and money.
Yes, so the purpose of the entire proposition is that we save busy directors of small contracting companies a lot of time, money, and resources.
Wow, very well said. And Zain, I know you're a very, very savvy man of the world. I want to ask you, what do you think of Corona and how has it impacted your customers in your industry?
Look, I think coronavirus is a pandemic that obviously everyone knows, at least for me at my age, never actually witnessed one. In fact, the recession that comes with it is probably the second only that I've seen. The first one was in 2008. Well, I just starting out in life, so it didn't really impact me that much. What I think about it, I'd rather keep my opinion to myself on this one, if you don't mind, Ed. I don't want people thinking I'm just another conspiracy theorist. But there's a lot of evidence contrary to mainstream media, let's put it that way. Now, at the same time, how has it impacted my clients? And sorry, I'm just being frank over here. I don't want to lie on camera.
We love frank.
Impacted my clients. It's actually, believe it or not, it's been very good for business somehow. And the reason is because the New South Wales government is pumping a lot of money into the construction of infrastructure and utilities to stave off or dampen the effects of the recession, which means there's a lot of projects, tens and tens of billions of dollars worth of construction, infrastructure construction projects that are being fast-tracked and released, funded by the government. The only thing is, it takes about 2 to 3 months for us to see the tenders come through. So it's just a bit of a waiting game, and we're all obviously well positioned to wait the 2 to 3 months max before we get really, really busy again. A lot of us are getting very busy again. A lot of my clients are getting very busy again. In fact, just a minority, a very small minority of them are facing difficulties, but the vast majority are doing very, very well, fortunately.
Wow, and I got to say, construction's amazing. And just so I understand for the sake of the audience, a bit of your backstory. I understand you used to work in the construction industry, of course, before you went into your own business.
Yes, that's correct. I was a safety practitioner for three businesses, three companies before I started my own. And prior to that, I was also a safety practitioner, but in mining, open cut coal mines.
Wow, very, very cool. And so what I was going to say is, so it's great to hear that construction's doing well in Australia, and big thank you to the government for helping out there. What are some of the top bits of advice do you have to anyone watching this interview around the world on how to best manage these crazy times of Corona and work through it?
Don't panic. Don't hold your money. Don't hoard. Because when we all panic, we all stop spending, we all hold our money, that's when a recession happens. That is the definition of a recession, really, in practical terms. All right. So when you start to panic, and I start to panic, and he starts to panic, and she starts to panic, and they start to panic, all hell breaks loose. And then we all, we're all in the same boat, and we all sink. And at the same time, I'm not saying go all out and finish all your money on buying, items that you don't need, hoarding items. It's all about we will get through this together.
Wow.
So don't panic is my message.
And I'm going to say, Zain, you have absolutely, as you know, we both all know a lot of people, and a lot of people are panicking out there. They're freaking out. And how have you personally been able to maintain your cool? Because I've got to say, on and off camera, you've maintained such a strong cool and resolve. What are your secrets? What do you put in your coffee every morning?
Well, the first thing is I don't drink coffee in the morning because that gives me palpitations, and I'm fast enough as it is. The last thing I need is superchargers. But I do drink a lot of tea, a lot of Indian karak tea. Only some people understand that on the show. Only some people.
What is it? Indian
karak tea.
And why is it a good thing? Tell us about Indian. I know you're not a tea specialist, but what's so cool about this tea? Because I'm interested. I'm actually drinking a tea right now. So
similar to that, but karak basically means strong tea. It's strong tea boiled for a long time with fresh tea leaves, and you add a bit of cinnamon, very little, and milk, a lot of milk. I use evaporated milk, and it's sweet, so plenty of sugar. And it's got this unique, distinct flavor. In Dubai, it is the cultural norm. You have 3, 4, 5, 6 cups of them a day. They're all over the place.
That's
and
incredible.
So I learned how to. We had to practice social distancing, and there was a national sterilization program in Dubai where we were asked to stay at home during certain hours so that the local councils can go out and disinfect all of the streets to fight off the coronavirus. And I started learning how to do it at home, because otherwise we won't be able to survive. Like not having karak tea is one thing, and corona is one thing, and not having karak is another. Manage corona, all right? But without karak tea, you just can't function. You know what I mean? I just had a full glass of karak tea before I came to the interview with you. That's my last cup before I start fasting. And when I finish fasting, the first thing I do is have another big cup of karak tea. You got to look it up.
I'm definitely going to check it out. I'm definitely going to check it out, and I'm sure a lot of our viewers around the world as well. And just for the sake of the audience as well, you obviously have an Australian accent, so you're from Australia. However, you're actually in between Dubai and Australia, aren't you? Obviously, you're not traveling much right now, but they're your two sort of living locations.
Yes, I float around between the two countries and many other countries. I love traveling because I've got a remote business. We all work remotely, me and my staff. I don't believe in offices. I reckon they're a thing of the past. I think they're very they reduce productivity. They're a lot of waste of time. They're waste of resources, waste of money. We found that when employees are at home, they're much more productive in their environment. And we're all remote workers. So you find me here in Dubai one day, Sydney the next, Morocco, anywhere really, wherever I feel like going. Jump on a plane, travel there. I've got my laptop and my Note mobile. I just do my work wherever I want, given that the family is all right with it.
Oh, that sounds great. And this is a great topic because, as you know, I couldn't agree with you more. You and I are very similar, hence we will get along. I want to ask you, and I get asked this all the time. Now, for you and I, we've been doing this for a while, so it's not a problem, but there's a lot of people that we're dealing with around the world who just recently are now working from home and they're really struggling. What's your advice to people around the world who are now working from home, how they can stay self-motivated?
How they can stay self-motivated. Well, look, to be quite honest with you, if you don't like your job, you won't be motivated. Let's stop the crap and all the hurrah and all the self-help books. If you don't like what you do, if you are motivated, it's fake. You're doing it to please your boss so you don't get fired for being, a lazy person. If you don't like your job, you will not be motivated no matter what, genuinely motivated at the very least. So my piece of advice is take a long, hard think of what you really love doing and try somehow to make that your work. Because that way, for example, with me, I go to sleep and I know a lot of people think, what a loser. But no, I love this. I love what I do. So I go to sleep and I'll wake up fresh. Oh, look, it's the next day. Have I been asleep for 12 hours? Whoa, what did I just do? And then I look at my watch. Hey, it's only an hour. I've only been asleep for an hour and a half. Literally, an hour and a half. And it feels like I've slept the whole day and night, And I just can't wait to get up, do my thing, add value to the world, help other businesses, provide for my wife and kids, for myself, for other causes that I believe in, to be productive, enjoy the work that I do, enjoy solving the day-to-day problems of my clients, of directors of small construction contractors, ensuring that what we do makes workers go home safely to their families, to their loved ones. We ensure that businesses are always compliant so that they're not just not breaking the law, but at the same time, they're operating at their peak performance levels, and so on and so forth. Everything, all aspects, I love it, whether it's the business adding value, whether it's solving problems for my clients, whether it's negotiating a sale, whether it's cold calling a customer who told you to F off 4 times in the last 4 years. And then you ring him up today, he says, he doesn't remember he's told you to F off. He has no recollection. He says, mate, you've called at the right moment. Wow, I've got this huge problem. I really need your help. And he's closing you now. And whether it's, seeing your company flourish, all that hard work, the blood, sweat, and tears, the thinking, the stress, the anxiety, the happy days, the laughter, all of that built into something beautiful. Being able to, provide for your wife and children what they need. If you believe in any causes, charitable causes, supporting them with as much as you can so that you always be a contributing member of the community, not just a leech who sucks off. You should give more than you take, literally. Give much more, in fact, much more than you take.
Wow. Well said. And I'm going to say, I love your charitable spirit. I'm sure you'd love to share it. What charities do you support, and what charities do you want to bring awareness to and get people involved in?
Orphans and widows in third world countries that have no access to social security, healthcare, especially orphans and widows, that all other charity organizations, from the Red Crescent to the Red Cross, have not been able to reach. The ones that are deep in there, who've not had a single packet of aid arrive. The ones that no one got to, that's who we want to get to. And we do that through a world without barriers. It's called A World Without Barriers, AWWWB. They're awesome. They work all over the world. And wow. They get to who no one was able to get to before.
Gotcha. Well, that's deep and intense, Zain. I've got to say, I absolutely love it. And I was just going to ask you as well, as you know, I come from a Middle Eastern background myself. I love Dubai. I haven't spent as much time in Dubai as I like to, but don't you worry, I'll visit you once this soon enough, once things get safe and secure. What's it like living in a very cool city like Dubai? I love watching the videos. What's it like? What's it like? I know it's obviously, I'm not sort of asking during Corona, but what's your experience of Dubai been like?
Look, Dubai to me is the best city on earth. All right. I've traveled everywhere and I've lived in a lot of cities, long term, short term. Dubai is a melting pot. It's got every single culture, ethnicity, religion, background, whatever you can think of is here. You know, like in my group of friends, there's probably 6 or 7 different ethnicities over religions, over backgrounds. Like you cannot even begin to imagine what a cosmopolitan, real multicultural, accepting society it is. Really accepting, not some law that gets pushed down people's throats and people have to pretend, you know, they're accepting. Otherwise, they're breaking the law or they'll look bad. Over here, it's genuinely accepting. You know what I mean? It's really cool. Like I speak around, I don't know, 8 or 9 or 10 languages and dialects, a bit of each. I speak English in 4 or 5 different accents. I speak Arabic in 8 or 9 different accents. I can think in 4 different nationalities. You won't know what that means unless you grew up here.
Oh.
I can use it 4 different ways. I can communicate with hand gestures from 3 or 4 different backgrounds. In fact, we can communicate just by our hands with different backgrounds. It's truly multicultural.
Wow. And I'm going to say, as you know, I'm a huge fan of Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum. I think he's a great guy. Oh, there he is. I love that guy. Now, I'll tell you, I'll give you some context of how I got involved. There he is. I love that guy, right? So again, I grew up in Australia, come from a Middle Eastern background, like an Iranian background. And the first time I went to Dubai was just before I met my wife about 5 years ago. And I was only there for 4 days, but that was enough to sort of brand me with the pro Dubai Sheikh Mohammed thing. I watch Sheikh Mohammed all the time. I don't know if you do this, but I actually follow Sheikh Mohammed on LinkedIn. He's got over 2.4 million followers. Do you follow him on LinkedIn, Sheikh Mohammed?
Yeah.
What's it? Now, I love the guy. Why do you love Sheikh Mohammed, and what's it like living in a city that he's the administrator of?
The question is, what's there not to love about him?
Gotcha. Okay. What are your top 3? What are the top 3 things you love about Sheikh Mohammed?
He's just and fair. He does not discriminate. He's just and fair. Whether you're top level or whether you're a cleaner in the street, if you break the law, then you get held to account. So he's just and fair. You don't have to worry about, you know, your rights being taken away from you. Number 2, he's accepting. You know, under his rule in Dubai, you can feel safe being who you are. All right? Whether it's your background or your religion or your ethnicity, whatever it is. He's welcomed everyone into Dubai. And number 3, he's active. Like he's active. He's a visionary, huge projects which he achieves. You know what I mean? You should have seen Dubai 30 years ago. You'll know what I mean. Like he's made it the best city on earth in terms of infrastructure, in terms of services, in terms of lifestyle, in terms of convenience, in terms of opportunity. There's tens and tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of people who come here from very, very humble backgrounds, work in Dubai, and they're able to send remittances back to their families in their home countries. And with that money, they actually can live a very, very good lifestyle. They can send their children to schools. They can, purchase houses for themselves, whether it's in a village or a farm. They can pay off their debts, all through the opportunities. And if you want to become a multimillionaire or a billionaire or whatever, plenty of stories. There's opportunity. It's just an amazing city, and he's the driving force behind it all. He's the one with the vision. He's the one that ensures it happens. You know, what's not to love about him?
That sounds very well said. And I got to say, Zain, I love where you're going. We've talked about a range of topics. As we bring this awesome interview to its epic conclusion, what are some of your closing thoughts for our friends and viewers around the world to really not only survive, but thrive in these times that we're in?
Always remember not to panic and think about a plan B. Just think about a plan B. Always have your exit strategy. Always have your plan B. No plan is planned for disaster. So always have your plan B, whether it's a second product that works during Corona, whether it's a second business that you can set up within a week that you know has demand or more demand during times where people have to work from home, whether it's the food delivery or whether it's the business that I started, the second business, Remote Employee Solutions, where we provide the consulting, installation, configuration, and setup of the complete home office IT infrastructure, along with all the software needed to work from home, or whether it's easy access to your investments if you've got some in case you need some liquidity. Always have a plan B, but don't panic.
I like it. Very sage advice. And Zain, I want to say a big thank you for being on our wonderful show. I'm very honored to get it out there on LinkedIn. And I was going to say, how can people learn more about your company and get in contact with you?
Visit our soon and upcoming monster of a website. We've been working on it for over a year now. It's our pride and joy. The team has put in so much effort. One of the best, in my opinion, I've tried many over the years, the best web development agency, Websima, Websima. I'm not promoting them, but I'm just so happy with the job they did. Websima.ae. They did our website. We're releasing it in the next few days. Idara Systems, edara.com.au. It's got a website now already, a very humble one, because I'm the kind of person, if I'm not going to perfect it, then I'd rather not do it. So this is over a year in the making, really. And they can get in contact with us through checking out the website or just, ringing us on 8091 5777. So 02 8091 5777.
Zain, it's an absolute pleasure. And I was just going to ask you, where to from here? I mean, you've got a new website coming out. What other secret projects have you got cooking that you're happy to share with our global audience of thousands of winners across the world?
I think we should keep that. There is a huge project, a very big one, but I don't want to spoil it. So once it's almost there, we'll release it probably over LinkedIn. But it's going to be Idara 2.0. Everything Idara's got, plus another raft of services that directors of construction contractors are going to kill for. We already have one major client who's bought into it, and they are loving it. So once we perfect it, it's going to go official.
It's exciting. When it's out and you can talk about it, please send it to me, because I'd be absolutely honored to share it with our great community across the world.
Thanks very much, Ed. Much appreciated.
And just before you go, Zain, I just want to say to our wonderful friends around the world, Zain Jafar, great friend of mine, as you can tell, a very frank guy who calls it as it is and someone you can trust. So make sure you reach out to him. And I just want to say, Zain, thank you for your time. I know you're a busy man. I just want to say we appreciate you on many levels.
Thanks very much, Ed. I really, really appreciate you also. The amount of help and guidance you've given me over the last 2 months since I've joined your mentorship program has been invaluable, absolutely invaluable. And I recommend every business owner whether you think you've got a problem or not, whether you think you need help or not, whether you think you need a mentor or not, just speak to Ed and you'll see a huge difference in your potential, your capability, your abilities. He really ignites a flame in you that you never knew existed. As lame as they may sound, but it's true.
Zain, thank you. We love your work.
Thanks, Ed. You take care of yourself, buddy.